Hey guys, it's Liz from Blue and Hazel and welcome to my homeschool channel. If you are new here, I am a homeschooling mom with 4 kids and we are finishing up our year with a 3rd grader, 2nd grader, kindergartner, and an almost 2-year-old. And this video, I'm excited to show you everything I'm planning on using next year for my 4th grader. So I wanted to do separate videos for each of the curriculum picks that I'm doing for each of the years, just to make it a little easier for you if you have a kid at that level. But keep in mind, we are going to do a lot of the subjects combined with my oldest 2, and so there will be some crossover there if you happen to watch both videos. But okay, so let's go ahead and dive into math for my next year's 4th grader. What we are going to do for him is keep on with Singapore Primary 2022. He is finishing 3A now. Then I feel like we all just really need a break, and I'm feeling a little burnt out. The kids need a break, and so we'll probably take a few weeks off and then come back, and I want to go ahead and start the 10-week program, Multiplication Facts That Stick, with him. And I think it's a perfect stopping point to do that because they've learned multiplication facts in 3A of the Primary 2022, but he does not have them memorized. And so we will probably keep on listening to some skip counting songs and then also work our way through 10 weeks of this. So that will be his probably next math. And I don't know if we'll start that in the summer, or probably we will do part of this in the summer and it might just continue on throughout the beginning of next year's school year. After that, then we will go ahead and finish 3B and 4A. So these are going to kind of be his 2 math books that I am hoping we can work through this 4th grade year, in addition to the Multiplication Facts That Stick. We have a flip through of the Multiplication Facts That Stick by Kate Snow. I will put in the description if you want to see what the inside pages look like. And I will also drop all of my Primary 2022 reviews that I've done in the description for you if you want to just see more about that program and how it's been working. So in addition to the green student books that I showed you that we got for his math, we're also going to be using these Mastery and Beyond books. These are basically like review every few lessons. You're gonna do a lesson from one of here, and it just kind of reviews like the last 3 or 4 lessons that you've done in the green books. Singapore Math says it's part of the program, but it's basically just a regular spiral review for you. And then I got the teacher's guide for those 2. In the teacher's guide for Primary 2022, what you'll see is a lot of questions. They have you ask the kids a lot of questions, and that's kind of the style that leads them to thinking about what the answer would be. So it's scripted, but mostly just with questions. So it's kind of a weird style of teaching. I don't love it, but it's working for him, and so we're just gonna keep on doing it. I would honestly probably switch my son over to Math with Confidence like my other 2 kids use if I could, but the 4th grade is not going to be out for a full year. For some of the other fun things that we're doing for math, we are going to be playing a lot of math games. I have a ton of math games here and I can't stop adding to my collection. I just love doing the math games with them. But it's been a challenge this year because I have a toddler who is just a whirlwind with little pieces, and so we have played less games this year, and I'm hoping that next year I can really be intentional about playing more math games with my kids. For another fun supplement that I got, and this is really a pretty optional thing because it's just fun and silly, are Life of Fred books, and we have the first 4, and I've read them from the couch to my kiddos that are around the age of like basically kindergarten, 1st and 2nd grade. I think the Cats and Dogs books is like spot on perfect for my 2nd grader, which are the 3rd and 4th. And then these 2 I just got in the mail, and this one is Edgewood and Farming, and they are just like real life math problems in this super goofy story about this little like 5-year-old named Fred, and they go through like a lot of real world problems that are silly. And so my oldest has a great sense of humor. He's always liked Life of Fred. So these might just be a fun read aloud for him to do on his own if he wants to. I might read them from the couch. I don't really know. but I got them because I love strewing stuff like that, and we've really enjoyed the first 4 books informally, not as part of our math curriculum, but just as like, yeah, there's math in here, but it's silly and a fun book to read. Okay, so moving on to what we'll be using for 4th grade language arts. We are going to be using and staying with Brave Writer for their language arts program, the DARTs. I've used those for 2 years now, and I just love it. I will drop all of my videos that I have on Brave Writer in the description for you. But basically, I buy these guides that look like this. Sorry for the random colors I had to use up in my printer. But they're book guides, and so we get the book from our library. It's a chapter book, and we read the book. Then we cover the grammar inside, and literary devices, and copy work, and dictation. And we just, it's separated into like 4 weeks, and so every week we have copy work, we have grammar that we cover, and usually some kind of activity that revolves around the grammar. And so we're just gonna kind of keep with that. We're doing our first arrow right now because of Winn-Dixie. The book is awesome. And the main thing I'm noticing as far as difference and difficulty from the DARTs that we've used up until now is the copy work is longer, which my kids are now ready for and would not have been ready for last year. So that's a huge encouragement to me to just see like, wow, they can write more, they're doing fine with it. I have like 3 other arrows already that I've purchased, and I will probably go to the Brave Writer website and pick the other books that we want to do. So we probably will make it through 7 to 8 book guides next year, which would be 7 to 8 months worth of doing, you know, the guides. And so we'll keep on doing that. I really have enjoyed it. For handwriting, we'll be using cursive handwriting from Handwriting Without Tears. And so my son is finishing up the Kickstart cursive. It's like the little blue book that goes sideways. And this is like the second cursive book. And it's worked pretty well to teach them cursive independently. And this particular one has a lot of like, copy this word, copy this sentence. Here's the new letter, learn how to do it, copy this word, copy this sentence. And so kind of same format all the way through. And generally speaking for him, I don't have him do this every single day, but most days 1 page. And it looks like there are like 90 pages or so. So he'll be doing that. If we do a ton of writing in some other area, like copy work days, I don't have him do the cursive, but that's like only really once a week or so. So the next thing that we'll be doing with my 4th grader for language arts is the Brave Writer partnership writing, and we use that for 3rd grade as well, and probably made it through about half of the projects in here. So there will be 10 projects inside of partnership writing. We have done the secret codes, we've done the 5 W's, the imaginary island, we have done the homophone mini book. We made it partway through the mail order catalog, and my kids did not like it, did not want to keep doing it. So I was like, fine, whatever, let's not do that. If you're looking for a program that's going to teach your kids like paragraph writing or, you know, a story like introduction and middle and conclusion, you will not find that in partnership writing. And so part of me wonders, like, do kids need that this early? Like, should I be looking for something like that? But right now I am actually not interested in that. I'm really, really interested in getting my kids to want to write. And my oldest, who will be 10 when he starts 4th grade, just barely turned 10, he has been my most reluctant writer. And this year has like really flipped a switch for him, and I'm so proud of him. And I think a lot of that has come from some of these projects in here that are fun, just fun. Like, you're writing in them, but you're not necessarily writing a story, if that makes sense. Like, you are putting together a project, you're labeling things, you're doing some research and writing down what you found. And then we are also adding in the other aspects of the Brave Writer lifestyle that come in the partnership writing program, like free writing on Fridays. We try to do a little bit of that, like 10 minutes of whatever you want to write. Don't worry about spelling. We will just kind of finish doing some of these projects that we want to do. If there are some that we don't want to do, then my hope is to really just encourage him next year to create a storyline in his own words, and you know, maybe something that he can work on during free write time, or maybe something that we actually assign, like, okay, we're going to work on creating your own story. And part of that is because, like, my mom saved all of these writing projects from when I was a kid, and she just gave them all to me. And I was like so surprised how many things that I was writing at his age. Now, I might have been more like my daughter, who is a year younger, a year and a half younger, and she just naturally is a writer and enjoys writing a lot. So I might have been more like that, but I realized, like, yeah, I'd like my fourth grader to be able to, you know, write a one-page story that kind of flows and comes from his imagination. And then we can work on editing that and then rewriting that story in, you know, the edited version. And so I think, like, that would probably be my goal for him next year, which I know is not going to come from partnership writing, but can just come from, you know, me working on that with him, I guess. Here's just an example of one of the projects that we did. It's not finished because this is literally probably going to take him like a month to perfect. He is a detail guy, but he has a bunch of islands that we drew, and then he's got like all of the things that you can find on his islands over here, and he's labeled like his table, and yeah, he's just having so much fun with it. And then we have a book that I bought him where inside he has been writing about his islands. Here would just be a fun little example of like what he started to write about his islands, and we'll continue writing information about his islands, you know, like who lives there, what are the dangers there, what kind of food might you find there, how do you get to the island, things like that. So you can kind of take that project in almost any of the projects in partnership writing, and you can expand on them and have them write more or less depending on what you think they're capable of. So for writing, we will stick with that. Also, he will continue with All About Spelling. We do this like 10 minutes at a time, probably about 4 days a week. And so we started level 1 this year. He zoomed through it. It was super easy for his 3rd grade year, and I highly recommend waiting a little bit of time, just because it will be so much easier if your kids have some reading and phonics under their belt. That's why I decided not to do the All About Spelling one with my 2nd grader this year. So she'll start on level 1 as a 3rd grader as well. And then he will be finishing up level 2, and then I will buy level 3 whenever he's ready. So I don't feel pressure to be like on like level 3 for 3rd grade, level 4 for 4th grade. I think these just introduce the phonics rules, the spelling rules, and you get a lot of handwriting practice doing this, and their binders and stuff. So I feel like wherever he is, as long as we're making progress, I'm fine with that. And then it also comes with this spelling box, which we use for the program, that have his spelling cards inside. Let me show you what we'll be doing for science. Now, this is me just kind of like pulling out what I think would be fun to do. I have no idea if my kids are gonna like this, but I have heard really awesome things about this series of learning about the bones in the human body. This is book 1. I got book 2, 3, and 4, and they all just cover all of the bones in the human body in a really fun, funky way, with memorable rhymes and silly stories and stuff like that. And so I have no idea how many of these will make it through. I just got the whole set, and we'll start with book 1 and see how it goes. And I don't know how many days a week I'm planning on doing this yet. It's written to the kid, so you read it, but it's actually written to the kid. And I'll let you know how that goes, but I just had heard such good things about that. And I remember personally memorizing the bones of the body as a kid, and the muscles as well, probably just the basic ones, not all of the little ones that we would find in all of these 4 books. But even in college when I took anatomy, like, I remember thinking I knew these obscure, huge words of these body parts that I had learned in 3rd grade. And that would be something that we do family style, so all my kids would be together. Then I found this thing on Rainbow Resources that just looked really fun. It's like a human body kit, basically. And It's like this giant felt body thing. And it comes with all of these felt pieces that the kids can place onto the body. And so anyways, we will just have fun with that, I hope. And I also got a couple read aloud books that are from Master Books. We have started reading this one. It's fabulous. Just about like the father of medicine and like how do we get where we are, where we knew nothing about medicine, all the way to where we are at now, where we have like, you know, so much knowledge and cures for certain things and surgeries and, you know, like how does daddy have all this knowledge that he has learned? Where did that originally start from, to be able to do the surgeries that he does? And so that's something I wanted to read with them. And then this book we have from Master Books, The History of Medicine, and it is so cool. Like, my kids love just opening these up and asking me about the pictures inside, but it's really made to be an easy read aloud. Like yeah, I'll just read these from the couch because I'm really interested in this topic, so hopefully they like it. And then I got a fun little book, Inside Your Outside. This is just one of those silly books that the kids can read that kind of goes with that theme. The other thing that we will be doing for science, because nature study is really important to me, we'll be doing some nature journaling, and we kind of made our own not too long ago. These are just made with like thick printer paper, and we ripped the edges. I have a video on how we did that. I'll stick in the description for you, but we will just be, whenever we do nature study, trying to do a nature journal page, maybe every other week or so, I'm guessing. You can see what we did the first one. We did a bee study, and we printed out some things. The kids, you know, labeled things, and we were learning about bees. And so each one that we do, we'll do some drawing, I hope, and each topic that we do, hopefully we will do a journal entry. So then I bought these science books from 1,000 Hours Outside, and they're so good. I love it, and I'm actually going to email her about getting permission to maybe do a few flip throughs for you. I just want to be really respectful about copyright and things like that, so I want to get her permission before I do like a full flip through for you. But we have used 2 of these so far, and they have been so fun. They're like basically like 2-week little studies that you could, you know, go slowly and draw out over the month. So you can buy these a la carte on her website, or you can save a little money and buy them together. But she has a bunch of nature study topics to choose from, and the guides are like not totally open and go, in the sense that everything is not right in the guides for you, but this has been a spine, and it's been really fun. So a spine meaning like we open it up and it tells us, like, I read a little bit and then it says, okay, look up a picture of this so that you know what we're talking about. And then we look up that picture. Sometimes it has the kids draw something in there. There's usually a little bit of geography involved of like where this animal or this thing exists, and sometimes some history as well, like the people groups that are, you know, around this nature thing. I don't know, it's really fun. I am impressed with it, but I also was like, oh, there's a lot of stuff that we have to look up, but I wouldn't necessarily think to look up. And so that's why I like the spine, is like it kind of is a guide for telling me what to do next, if that makes sense. And the last subject that I wanted to tell you what we'll be using is Master Books for History. We're going to use America's Story again. So I actually have done America's Story 1, and then we left America's Story 1 and started using Gather Round's U.S. History. And this year we made it through 3 of their U.S. histories out of 6. And I liked parts of it, but I just kept feeling like I wanted to go back to Master Books. And I kept feeling like Gather Round was just too wordy. It was a lot of information. I was having trouble retaining the general timeline of things because there was so many facts that we were just kind of covering about this battle and this thing and then this date, and there's just a lot of stuff, and it was moving really quickly. It was hard for me to be able to keep their attention for so long. We were cutting lessons in half a lot, and I was summarizing things, skipping things, and the way that Master Books presents it is just a little more conversational and easy to read to young kids than the way that Gather Round is used. So I just kind of decided we're gonna go back to it because why not? Like, use what you like. I have a whole video on like kind of why we're switching, a comparison of the two. If you want to watch that, I can put that in the description, but just know for next year we are going back to Master Books, and I don't have the books here because I just ordered them and made that decision. So we'll basically start somewhere in the middle of book 2 and then work our way through book 3. If we finish early, like basically there's 3 books in America's Story, 1, 2, and 3, and each is kind of made to be its own year. Since we're probably going to start midway through book 2, and I don't know if I want to do all of the topics at the end of book 3, we may finish early, I don't know. And so if we end up finishing early, then I want to kind of pause America's history and move into some world history. And so my plan there would be to use All Around the World in Picture Books by Beautiful Feet Books. I really, really, really want to do that study. Even if my 4th grader is too old for it, I think he would love it and enjoy it and learn a lot. We have not done any type of extensive studies on other countries, and that will kind of be like the next for me after we finish US history. So maybe we'll get to that next year, maybe not, I don't know. But we are definitely going back to Master Books, America's Story, and then yeah, that's all I have for curriculum for him. So it's kind of a lot actually. I hope that this is helpful for you. If you feel like, whoa, that is a lot of stuff, that's overwhelming, like remember that we won't get to it all. First of all, I'm not looking to see that we finish everything. I'm not caring if everything is on level. He's ahead of things in some areas and behind things in other areas. And so I am looking for progress and seeing that we're learning something new every day. I really want my kids to learn to love books and love reading, learn to love learning, I guess. And so those are kind of my goals for like actually what we finish is like moving forward bit by bit, making progress, and keeping their attention and interest and love of learning. That's kind of my goal. So if you made it this far, thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe so you're notified when I upload my 3rd graders curriculum and next year's 1st grade curriculum.